been reviewing beer on YouTube for the last 4 months now, but I've been drinking craft brew for several years. One thing I've noticed about a lot of craft brewers is that, not this one in particular, but a lot of them use bottle caps. You need to use a bottle opener to get the cap off. Traditionally on my channel I've been using this thing to get them off. It's a tourist item that a friend of mine brought back from Victoria, Canada. Got this little funky picture of Victoria in it that spins around, but for the most part it's got a nice half-decent bottle opener that's pretty good at removing the cap. It's sufficed for the time being, but one thing over the last couple of years is that bottle openers, while this one's not a half bad one for such a cheap one, a lot of them are hit and miss. A lot of them, well, let me show you. Well, it's relatively easy to get the twist-off caps off without damaging them. As you can see, this one right here, that's a twist-off from Shipyard. There's a twist-off from Pump House, one of their older caps now. Got a somewhat large collection of bottle caps and corks that I've collected over the last couple months. And, well, actually over the last couple of years, I got some stuff that I brought back from the States before, etc., etc. But at some point, I'd like to do what like Chad 9976 had done and maybe make the beer magnets to put on the fridge. But, you know, you got to be fairly particular with the how you take the caps off the bottles in order to preserve them. Because I had one bottle opener with a Team Canada logo on it that was really crappy and would do this to the caps. That's useless. You can see where it's bent right up in half. And here's one for Connie Ludwig, I believe. It's almost like half moon kind of thing. It's really bent out of shape. I also have my Swiss Army knife. Yeah, Super Soaker. I used to run a Super Soaker website. Let's see, yeah, my Swiss Army knife. It's got a nice bottle opener, but it'll do this to the caps. As you can see, it's kind of hard to make out on the camera, but it does not a bad job of pulling the cap off. But you can see where it leaves a nice pit in the center of the cap, and you can see right there. There's the problem. It's going to be very hard to stick something onto that. Same with this one. This is one where I actually was trying to be careful and ended up making an arse of myself. And look at that. That's just terrible. This one, my Victoria one, isn't so bad. It's done a half-decent job, but here's a couple of examples of the caps that it's done. Well, the bottoms are flat and all. There's also these like dents along the sides right here, like I think that's one there. It's hard to see through the camera. I think the Innocent Gun's kind of harder to see it on. Maybe the Corona cap. Trust me, I'm never drinking Corona again. There, see right there. You can see it in the shadow, where it's got a line right there. Yeah. Anyway, suffice to say, there's a lot of bottle openers out there, but a lot of them do a lot of damage to the caps in the process. This is probably one of the best ones that I've found. I find it leaves the cap intact, but there's got to be a better solution out there. There's got to be a more professional looking bottle opener. And there is. This is why I want to introduce to you my new toy, the BBBarfly, from BBBarfly.com. BBBarfly Incorporated is a Canadian company originating in North York, Ontario. They make these units, which are quite sturdy. They're also 100% Canadian made. One of the cool things about the BBBarfly is that it's made out of 100% stainless steel, high-grade stainless steel. And not just the bottle opener part of it, but the handle as well. When I first saw these online, I was kind of expecting these to be plastic or rubberized or something. I wasn't expecting these things to be solid metal. One of the detracting factors of this is that it adds a lot of weight to these things, but one of the things that it does for these is these are 100% durable. They are incredibly tough, which I proved on the first time I tried to open it when I accidentally threw it across the room and almost hit my fiancée, Neely, in the face. She doesn't really like it that much for the time being. She's saying boo in the background. But I like it. So, I think the question on most people's minds is, how well does it work? Well, when it comes to open up a beer, you know, you got to be very careful, but you can do a good, okay job of removing the cap off one of these bottles with this, either that way or that way. But it is kind of difficult at times, especially when this thing is so worn down. I mean, I've had this for a couple of years now. It's so worn down that it's starting to get tough to actually catch the lip, and you have to screw with it a few times in order to get it. This one works well enough, but sometimes you have to pull it all the way up, especially if you're, for some reason, like me right now, opening a bottle cap with the on a twist off. When it catches the ridges, it'll stretch that cap out to an oblong shape before you even get it off the bottle. While this one's definitely a good utility, it's not really that great for preserving the cap. This thing works so well. Watch. Off the top of the bottle, and now I'm getting fizz. Oh, crap. As you can see, the BBBarfly removed the bottle cap quickly and easily. So, let me take a look at the cap's aftermath. This one, you can see there's like a tiny... These are a selection of caps, by the way, that I've removed using this. Some of them for reviews I've already recorded, some of them for just, you know, drinking around the house. This is, let's see, there's one. It put a tiny little dent in the top there, but it's nothing serious. This one did a much better job at removing that one. You can hardly detect any damage at all. And there's one from Hoygarden, or Hoygarden, yeah. As you can see, there might be like a tiny small dent there, but it's definitely not enough to say that the cap's ruined. You can definitely attach that to the fridge. And the my Fuller's Honeydew here, that thing, look, very beautiful design on the cap, and it perfectly preserved it. So, the BBBarfly, what do I think? Actually does a really great job. Well, first of all, it's perfect for removing the cap. It has a great wide lip on it, and it does a great job at removing the cap without doing too much damage to it. It's a heavy unit, and it doesn't have rubberized handles, especially when it's basically just painted metal on here. You really need to be careful when your hands are sweaty, or if you're you know, just goofing around with it, because these things are actually really good for tricks. I'm not going to try and do a couple because past results around the house, but yeah, they'll slip out of your hand easily if you're not expecting them to. And the thing is, this thing weighs probably over a pound. It'll put somebody's eye out. As for buying them off of BBBarfly.com, buying off of them is quick and painless. I think this took about 6 shipping days. It was only $5 to ship within Canada, and I think it was $20 for this chrome green unit. They also do custom designs where they can have like camo print or different prints on the outside of it, or you can even message the people that run the place, and they'll put together a custom barfly for be it a beer review channel. Beer Goggles Reviews has a custom one. Real Ale Guide has a custom one. I think Albino Rhino's getting one. I'm not sure. I'm planning on getting one in the future. Not right now. But they're cheap. Well, they're expensive for a bottle opener, but they're still about as expensive as a 12 pack of beer. Even cheaper than a good beer. But I certainly would recommend it to anybody who wants to have a decent bottle opener for either the bartending experience, for the beer reviewing experience, or just for drinking beer around the house and at home. If you get really good at these things, like I'm not right now, but working on it, you can actually do lots of tricks with these things where you can throw them up in the air underneath your leg and all that stuff that you could do with a yo-yo. This is pretty much the yo-yo of bottle openers, and certainly recommend it. I'm not going to give it like another 5 rating, but I'm just going to say that I would suggest to everybody out there who doesn't have one to try and go get one, because these things are awesome and well, heavy duty and will put up the test of time. I think they actually tell a story on their website where they were able to throw one of these off of a 17-story building and it was still able to move around freely. I'm not trying it with mine, but I'll take your word for it. Anyway, thanks for watching this my review of the BBBarfly, and safe drinking, and thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.